When I think about leading, I actually, believe it or not, I start with before class. Because if you just arrive a minute before class, I think you're not really making the most of this kind of getting engaged and involved. I would arrive at least 15 minutes early. It gives the instructor a little bit of a feel of the room. There may be, even with a well-established classroom, important to go back and check and make sure, for example, if audiovisual materials are being used, that those are working. Sometimes there will be some pre-setting on the board. Occasionally the instructor will want to put maybe some summary facts of the case or reference elements up, and may want to arrive early to pre-board those. And I think very importantly, have a chance to begin to interact a bit with the participants. What's on their mind? Do they have any high-level reactions to this case going in? And this, again, may be different from a lecturer who might decide to just arrive a couple of minutes before the lecture starts. If we move on from the pre-class, the beginning of the session is the opening. We call it the Instructor Opening. This can contain various elements. And to really frame the session, kind of why are we here? Why is this important? What are we hoping to accomplish today? Really ground this so that expectations are aligned with the discussion to come.
So here you have the CEO, the chair of the audit committee, we have the external auditors, and they're all looking at the situation maybe from slightly different perspectives and figuring out the next steps, okay?
So that takes us from the opening now into the first discussion pasture. And within any part of the discussion, there are really three critical elements to leading the discussion. And those we think about it as this tripart: questioning, listening, and responding. When it comes to questioning, you want to think about, is there a question that you can use to essentially get the participants to exercise some judgment? A question that will engage, for example, in diagnosing a problem, assessing or evaluating a situation, or maybe a leader in the case.
So you start by talking to your legal counsel, internal and external, then what happens after that?
Well, often situations like this, there'll be kind of a high-level preliminary investigation performed where...
In terms of listening, listening is really important to the case method. Really listen with curiosity. Where are they coming from? Don't rush to judgment in listening to the comment. And as you begin listening, listen for what's the core idea or ideas in this comment.
I'm asking the CFO, help me out. So I'm not confronting him directly, but...
Why not?
Well, because I might be wrong.
You are the CEO.
Yeah, but I'm a nice guy. I'm from California. I'm kind of laid back, and I don't want to get into a confrontation with my CFO, particularly if there's nothing wrong.
So we've talked about questioning and listening, and then the third element is responding. So there are a number of options once you've posed a question and you hear a response on the part of the participant. I think it's important, first of all, just to acknowledge the contribution. So whether it's simply yes or interesting, or somehow letting the participant know that you've heard, you're listening for opportunities to generate debate.
That's right. Organic growth wouldn't do it.
You're looking for areas of tension and disagreement. A discussion that's just where everybody agrees on everything, there's not much learning going on there, right? But if there's a point at which reasonably well-informed, smart people view it differently, there's a great opportunity to dig in. And kind of orchestrating those debates, I think, is part of the role of the case method.
It kind of seemed like he was strong-arming both the internal auditor and also the controller. So.
One of the things you'll find in leading a case discussion is that there are always some participants who are very active, very energetic, and balancing those participants relative to some participants who may be very quiet, they may be shy, they may not want to speak in a large group, maybe they're a little bit more reflective, maybe they're not as well prepared. There can be many reasons why some participants are less engaged or quieter than others. And so throughout the discussion, you want to think a little bit about, are we having a balance here in participation? Particularly if you have a large number of participants that some folks feel that they just aren't part of the conversation. And so managing that in a respectful way, I think, is important as an overlay to all of this questioning, listening, responding.